I prošla raz, kogna Erik navidat Dragon Ball Z, Goku nan kontiec Vrebralskia is kapsul I zan social lurfis frizoi.
All right, that was better than the original. But I like this different languages thing.
Yeah.
It could be a good bit.
Not the worst idea I've ever come up with. Don't ask me what is. I don't want to tell you.
But you do know.
I do. Ketchup and cereal.
Oh, please tell me that's not true.
That's the worst idea I've ever come up with.
Which cereal?
Do you remember Waffle Crisp?
Oh my God.
I loved Waffle Crisp.
I mean, Waffle Crisp was one of my favorites. Yeah.
I can't eat Waffle Crisp now.
I mean, none of us can eat Waffle Crisp now. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's true.
And if it is, they probably changed the formula like Cookie Crisp.
Oh, those bastards. I liked original Cookie Crisp. What the heck? I like things that I liked when I was a kid. Why do they keep changing things?
Welcome to Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. There's no more Waffle Crisp.
And I'm John.
I'm Spencer. Today we'll be going over episodes 86 through 90 of Dragon Ball Z, starting with episode 86. The American title is The End of Vegeta. The Japanese title is Such Regret. Vegeta, Pride of the Saiyans, dies.
My title is Tears of a Vegetable.
It's better than the actual Japanese title, I think.
Which one of my titles has not been better than the actual Japanese title?
If I remembered all of your titles, I could tell you, but there haven't been many. I mean, there's been a lot more than you usually do a really good job with titles.
Oh, thanks, man.
The Japanese one rarely wins out. There we go.
It has straight up won out, I think, probably 5 or 6 times out of 86.
I could see that. Out of 86, yeah. That seems like the correct percentage.
Yeah. So you want to kick us off, I guess?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah. Frieza beats up Vegeta some more at the beginning of this episode. And it's really gross and bloody, and he licks the blood again. Except he's in his advanced form, so it's even weirder.
The tongue is way longer than it should. Not like super creepy long,
but longer.
But longer than it should be. It's odd. But at this point, I'm getting used to the blood. Like, I really appreciate it. It's a little jarring up front. But after 1 second of it, then I'm like, oh, right. There's blood in this show.
Yeah.
And then I like it just a little bit more. It's like, I noticed this really interesting editing decision. I've been watching The Boys.
Oh, I love that show.
So I'm halfway through season 2.
Okay.
The scene where, and I guess spoilers for this show, if nobody's seen this, there's a scene where Kimiko rips the face off of a person.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Okay, the editing that they chose to do was introduce you to the idea that she's going to rip off this person's face. It shows like 0.7 seconds of it happening. And then it cuts to reaction shot of the other people watching this happen. Just to ease your brain into the idea, you're about to watch somebody's face get ripped off. And it's not just like, okay, this is happening now. They very intelligently designed it so that when they do cut, it does cut back. When it do cut back to the face rip, you're ready for it. You're more ready for it than you were even just 2 or 3 seconds ago, just based on how they cut away and cut back. In this show, it's kind of the same thing, just with my childhood. It'd be like if Thomas the Tank Engine showed up covered in blood, and then it cut away to something else, to somebody's horrified expression, and then cut back to Thomas the Tank Engine covered in blood. I'd be a little more like, oh, I guess he's a murderer now, instead of, oh my God, why?
Wait, are you saying that seeing it as a child without blood prepared you for seeing it with blood? Or you're just saying the way that they edited it is fine?
The way that they edited, that is the hardest thing to say. The way that they edited it was good. Now I forgot where we were. Oh, so we do...
Like basically just the beginning.
The beginning. So it cuts to Goku.
Dude, he's still just standing there.
He's just standing there.
He's like, oh man, I gotta save my friends and family and stop this menace. And in the interim, he's moved to the top of Frieza's ship. And like planted himself and just breathed in the air, taking his sweet time.
I don't know how far away they are from Frieza's ship, but he gets there in a second, 1 second across the whole planet.
Enough time for Vegeta to bleed everywhere. And then Frieza throws him against the rock wall and he lands and he's almost dead. And Frieza comes over and puts a foot on his chest and rubs a rock into it with his foot for some reason. And then he says, "Good night, sweet prince."
He does.
Which I really like.
Yeah.
And then right before he's about to kill Vegeta, Goku finally shows up. And then it's like Frieza's not even there, and they have this like minute-long conversation where they're just happy to see each other.
Yeah.
Gohan, Krillin, and Goku. And they're just talking about stuff, and Goku's making jokes. He's like, this is the first time I've arrived at the battlefield, and you haven't been all beat up.
And they're all happy and smiling, and Vegeta's bleeding on the ground.
He's like almost dead.
And Frieza's still standing on Vegeta. It's like, like there's this whole other section of the party that they just don't want to acknowledge is even happening.
It's a little odd. He's like, I'm going to fight Frieza on my own. And they're trying to stop him. But he's like, no, this is going to be fine. And so Krillin's final word of warning is watch out for that tail.
That's right. It's good
advice. He knows what's up. It's really good advice. It's strangled Vegeta, and it's whipped pretty much everybody else at least once.
Yeah. Krillin cut it off and it grew back.
Yep.
It's evil.
Somehow.
It's a terrible prehensile tail. And so Goku, when Goku arrives, so it shows Goku on top of the ship, charging up and then blasting off. Super fast. And then there's another cut. Goku speeding Mach 47 through the air. And then it cuts to where Goku's going to land. And when he lands, it's just a little like, It's just like 3 frames of him very softly landing like a flower petal.
You think he should have made a crater or something?
Something with the build-up cool. That it had. It felt it was weird that they landed so softly. But then they have the nice, Goku's here conversation, and Goku gets real pissed off at Frieza and just starts dripping energy almost. Like it's milky. I should use a different word. It's flowy all around his body.
This whole scene when they first encounter each other is basically an extended set piece where Frieza realizes that he's dealing with Bardock's son.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so there's an extended flashback, and I really wonder if this footage was taken from the special or if they redrew it and re-recorded all of it.
I wonder.
I don't know because we haven't watched that yet, but I was really curious because it's a lot longer than I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, at the end of it, Frieza's like, "I knew your dad," and Goku's like, "I don't care."
Yeah, it was I don't care.
It was so weird. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even like, "Whoa, my father." Oh, but you're evil, so I'm not going to ask about it. It's so weird.
A lot of the character decisions for the past entire arc have been weird. I think the only characters that have been consistently on point with who they are Krillin and Gohan.
Yeah.
And then Vegeta kind of, but almost everyone else has these weird personality fluctuations. And this is Goku going through roller coaster loop-de-loop where he's like, I don't care about my dad.
Yeah.
Which maybe he doesn't.
I mean, maybe he doesn't, but just phrasing it as I don't care is very odd. I don't know if he's ever asked that question to himself before, but he was raised on Earth. He knew he didn't belong. And then to find out his father existed and had a name and stuff. It's
kind of an interesting spin on the whole space orphan or just orphan, I guess. Not even space or just orphan
it's
thing.
Applicable.
Yeah, where the kid always is so interested in the family ties because they've been absent throughout their entire life. Except here, Goku doesn't give a shit at all.
He just doesn't care.
Just wants to punch the guy. And so Frieza is not pleased with this person just showing up and takes their first jab at Goku. And Goku just vanishes and then retaliates and connects a fist. And it bruises Frieza's face.
Yeah.
And then we get the intermission. Every episode has a cut break intermission thing.
Yeah, I don't know if this is in aired on American TV because I don't remember them. But
no, they just do a fade out, don't they?
Yeah, they just cut to commercial or whatever. But in on the Japanese TV and then on the DVDs that I'm watching for sure, they'll have an act break or a mid-episode point where the scene just ends and then it cuts to this da, 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 cute little animation with music to signify that the show's going away for a bit. And then I'll have another one immediately after that because it'll take place after the commercial break to tell you, hey, the show's back. They left those in on the DVD, I guess, just because it's I don't know, part of the episode. It's art, but it's kind of annoying. And the timing of them suck almost universally.
Yes.
Because usually in American TV, you end an act on a cliffhanger or some kind of revelation, some kind of epic moment. But I feel sometimes episodes will cut halfway through a sentence and just do an act break in Dragon Ball Z. It's crazy.
They don't give a shit at all. And I'm pretty sure when it was aired on Toonami or wherever it was aired, they just cut that part out entirely and just skip right to the next.
I don't remember ever happening until I saw it on. Yeah.
But so from the beginning all the way up until I think the episode before this one and this one, it had this cute little thing.
Yep.
It was like Riders on the Storm is what the little song cue reminded me of. And it was cute. And they changed the music and it's so awful.
It's really bad.
I don't know why.
I don't know either. They're making weird changes, but because later, and maybe this is just the American version of the music, because before, like in episodes past, this act break has had a music cue, but it was the same between Japanese audio and American audio. I didn't switch it back to Japanese to check for this episode, but I wonder if it's just the American version, because it's the same music cue that we'll hear later during a Bulma scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's also why you know it sucks, because those scenes are garbage.
I have something to say about that. Speaking of changes in American versions, we'll get there.
Okay. So it comes back from commercial, I think, and Frieza's like, "Oh, your shoe's untied." That's what he says. And Goku replies, "I'm not going to fall for that one. I don't even have shoelaces." Which also is false, because if you look at his shoes, he actually does.
He totally does. He's got the bands.
He does have shoelaces, yeah. Like they're tied in a bow and everything. Frieza gets mad that Goku's not having any of his fun antics, so he launches an energy blast at Goku, Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan.
Yeah.
And Krillin's like, "Everybody hit the dirt," and him and Gohan jump away, and Piccolo and Goku do not move at all.
At all. Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Yep. And then when they hit the dirt, they only get maybe
a few
6 inches away.
Yeah.
Total. And face down, hands overhead.
It's
like
great.
It's a kindergarten fire drill. No, wait, earthquake drill.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, fire drill, you don't lay down. You don't just accept your fate. They have a place where you go.
Really depressing schools, maybe that's what they do. But Goku actually like deflects everything that Frieza's throwing at them.
Yeah,
he continues the barrage, and Goku's just like, nah.
Mm-hmm. One-handed blasting away Frieza's blasts, which these blasts we saw 2 episodes ago, or maybe 1 episode ago. They blew up an entire island.
Yeah,
like the size of one of the islands of Hawaii, and it's gone. And then this time, Goku's just smacking them away like little ping pong balls.
Just like,
no problem.
Goku gets to do the "I'm behind the smoke screen and I'm actually just fine" trick.
Yeah, Goku gets to do it this time. Whoa.
Yeah. Then, interesting, this crazy scene that seemingly comes out of nowhere that I don't know how I feel about it. It's at the same time really incredible and also just weird. But Vegeta's lying there and he's almost dying. Mm-hmm. And Goku's like, "Don't talk, Vegeta, you're going to die." And he keeps coughing up blood and stuff. He's just lying next to Goku.
Mm-hmm.
But like Vegeta has this long monologue as he's dying about how much he respects Goku, and like Vegeta doesn't think that Goku should show Frieza the same mercy that Goku showed to Vegeta on their encounter on Earth.
Right. Yeah. It's a mixed bag, this monologue.
Yeah.
It bothers Frieza, the Vegeta turning into Goku's hype man.
Yeah.
And so Frieza shoots Vegeta through his heart with a laser beam. And he still doesn't die. He
doesn't die.
More blood and continues his fucking monologue.
Yeah.
So he starts talking about that you shouldn't show Frieza the same mercy. And then we get a flashback to Vegeta's childhood, where his father raised him to be this stone cold killer. And then Frieza shaped his future. But there are very few spoken lines. It's all just shown. And I really liked that, the visual storytelling without just
it was cool.
Japanese titling me to death.
Yeah,
that was
for
fun.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, after Goku watches Frieza shoot Vegeta through the heart, Goku responds with, "What's your problem?"
Oh, yeah. That sort of 90s Sonic the Hedgehog, I got a chili dog kind of voice.
Dude, the 90s vibe for these 5 episodes is so disgusting.
Yep.
It makes me embarrassed that I grew up in that time period.
But Vegeta's voice actor does...
Oh, so good.
Sells the monologue. It's really good. One of his last lines, the kind of culmination of this is, "He made me what I am. Don't let him do it to anyone else," which I think is just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like a beautiful self-realization from Vegeta that we'll probably never get again. So I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, the monologue is really wordy and it goes on for too long. And if it had been edited down, it would have been like a 10 out of 10 favorite scene ever. It does have its issues, but if this was the last time we ever saw Vegeta, I think it would have been a pretty good ending for him. Like, it's good of a scene. So the last thing that Goku does in this episode is he punches a hole in the ground, and then
he doesn't punch a hole in the ground.
I mean, he
looks
one.
At the ground and it explodes into a grave.
Punches with his eyes?
He uses yeah. I think that's probably my new favorite attack, the Gravedigger stare.
Yeah, there you go. Gravedigger stare. Oh, that's
Gravedigger stare. But all it does is make graves. Like, it doesn't do any damage. It just
a little hole in the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a psychological move.
Anyway, it's pretty good, all things considered.
For me, Vegeta's speech goes on too long.
Yes,
and then Vegeta dies and he's crying, and it's kind of impactful because Goku says, wow, you must have been holding onto those tears your whole life.
Oh yeah, that part's great too.
Probably the first time you ever cried. Like, there's no way you could have a truly awful heart, otherwise you wouldn't have released those tears. There's some softness in there somewhere. And the impactful part for me was Goku spending the time to really bury Vegeta, and you watch him put the dirt over each part of Vegeta and really bury him. And he's uninterrupted in his nice little personal eulogy for Vegeta, because no one else gives a shit about Vegeta. No one.
And the only reason Goku does is because he likes everybody. Like, he respects everybody. He wants to see the good in literally everyone.
Yeah. And that gave me a little bit more respect for Goku, who otherwise has just been the guy who wins.
Yeah. It was a nice character moment for Goku where he's doing something that matters to the plot without fighting.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
So it was a really nice... it was kind of taffy stretched of an episode.
Oh, it absolutely was, yeah.
But I liked this one. I actually liked this episode because that's the last thing that happens, right? He just turns around and then the Goku and Frieza are facing each other down now.
Yeah. Episode 87. The English title, or the American title, is The Ultimate Battle. Japanese title is The Curtain Rises Over the Ultimate Battle. I am going to defeat you. I do wonder in the Japanese title who I is.
Yeah,
I am going
someone
to defeat...
different every time, isn't it?
I think so.
So my episode title for this one, because I knew that there was no way the titles were going to be able to do this, so I did Round 1, Goku versus Geology.
That's good. I like that.
Every single episode up until the end of this saga will be around something.
We opened with a nice little recap of everything that happened. I hate these scenes, but I understand the purpose of them because these weren't always on DVD, aired back to back to back. Goku recaps, like, just basically he's going to kill Frieza for everything that he's done. Well, defeat. I don't think he says kill. And then it goes to King Kai's planet, and King Kai's like, yeah, Vegeta, he changed. And then Yamcha says Vegeta was crying. Man, that's whack. That's his exact line.
Have you written down all of the 90s phrases? Because there are a lot of them. I feel like this was the section where they just embraced the times.
Yeah, it really feels like there's been a shift in the colloquialisms that they're using for the American dialogue.
The only one that stands out to me was "Somebody Stop Me." King
that
Kai's
was
planet.
crazy,
and that was because they didn't really do it at all until then. But now there are so many of them. Frieza says them. Goku says these just 90s isms, and it just dates it, and I hate that. Also, I don't know if you noticed, Shemel's vocal performance in this episode specifically is just really bad, and I know that I think it's bad because I know what Shemel is capable of now.
Sure.
And so I'm comparing it to a weathered, experienced Shemel that I really like. But this specific performance, it just kind of feels like he showed up for the day, said his lines, got his paycheck, and then went to Wendy's. Like, he didn't really give a shit about what he was saying.
Yeah, could be. I mean, when they're not bringing their A game, you can tell.
On the positive side, we get to hear one of the better tracks, which is the standoff theme, the standoff track. It's subtle, but it sounds kind of like a death march, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's really good. It's really good. And after probably the first verse, all the second verse is the same thing as the first verse, just detuned a bunch of semitones. Like, everything is detuned. Like, they just went boop on the pitch, so the drums are detuned. Like, it's really cool. I really like that part.
I've been enjoying the music a lot in this saga. Like it's they do repeat tracks quite often, but like the quality of the individual tracks is just awesome.
And some of the shots and some of the animation frames in this episode are actually really, really cool as well. I like a lot of things about this episode, except Shemel's vocal performance. Maybe that's what makes it feel worse.
Piccolo has a weird internal monologue where he like hits on Goku a little bit and says, you know, someday I'm going to fight that guy again just for grins.
That's right. Yep.
I don't know what that means. Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan decide to book it. Piccolo's like, we can't distract Goku. He's got to fight Frieza and not worry about us. So they leave. Mm-hmm. And Gohan sort of refuses at first. But then he says, I'm leaving you, Dad. Don't you dare lose.
It helps us define their relationship just a little bit better. They're more like roommates that are related.
Yeah. The next shot is like my favorite shot in these 5 episodes.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's
amazing. It's just landscape shots of different parts of Namek. And as it's going, you see these little like movement lines, but there's also sound effects of battle happening. So you can't see Goku and Frieza, but you see this like expansive shot of the planet as they just like hit each other over and over and over across it. It's really well done. It's awesome.
And they're doing this tussle, this hyper speed tussle, and there's a huge massive explosion that covers Goku in dust. Goku's up above, floating above where Frieza is, and Frieza's shooting purple eye lasers at Goku, and Frieza can't see Goku.
Yeah, it's established in this scene that that Frieza can't detect Goku's power. During the fight, there's this really cool move that Goku does where he like gets knocked to the ground and Frieza blasts him. And right before the blast lands, he fires his own energy blast directly at the ground and propels himself backward, which is to dodge the blast, which is really cool. I like that a lot.
There is a moment where there's dust everywhere and Frieza is staring into the dust to try and find Goku, and Goku teleports directly behind Frieza. Not like facing Frieza, like back to back.
Oh, yeah. Is that the part where they're standing on that little spire?
Yes. And so they've just been blasting and fighting, and it's destroying the ground all around them. And Goku teleports right behind Frieza, and they're doing this back-to-back banter thing, which is really cheesy, but I love it. Like, this is the thing that I love about Dragon Ball Z, is this, like, cheesy, corny, what Eric would call god-awful unforgivable.
Sure. But I do like that there's always time for dialogue in Dragon Ball Z. Even if it's gross or cheesy, there's always time in a fight to talk, which I really like.
Cut to King Kai, who after seeing Goku fight for a grand total of 10 seconds, completely changes his tune about fighting Frieza. Whereas the last 20 episodes, they've been just singing, don't fight Frieza or you'll die. Don't fight Frieza or you'll die. Oh, Goku's strong. Totally fight Frieza, guys. Like, he doesn't even stick to his guns at all. Completely 180s, flip-flops, waffles.
I don't like cutting to King Kai's planet anymore.
No, me neither.
They're just the recap squad. Like, all they do is recap what you've seen or what you've just barely seen in the last few episodes. Like, it's just pointless.
Speaking of pointless,
the
next scene is a Bulma cutaway.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going to tell you, because I wrote it down in English, what she says.
Okay.
And I couldn't believe what she was saying. So I turned on the Japanese subtitles, and I'm going to read you both versions.
Okay.
And tell me which one you like better. Okay. So here's the English one. It starts off, let me set the scene. Starts off Bulma at the edge of a bank of water, probably the ocean. And she's just drinking.
She's just drinking seawater.
Drinking seawater. And she says, oh, man, did that feel good. But my stomach is still growling. Oh, the pain. And then she sits down and looks up at the sky and says, that cloud looks like a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it does not look like a cheeseburger.
And that one looks like a pizza.
It does not look like pizza.
I wanted to lose a few pounds, but this is ridiculous. I'm just going to lie here until I wither away. Goodbye, world. That's what she says in English.
That's exactly what she says and how she says it.
In Japanese, here's what she says. After drinking the water, she turns around and says, that was good, but it's no use. I can't walk anymore. I'm going to die here without ever getting back to Earth, without anyone to watch over me. Quietly. It's true what they say. Beautiful women do die young. Which one do you like more?
That's so much better.
Which one sounds like Bulma, and which one sounds like what the...
So, all right, we may have made a fun little discovery here, where whenever it's translated directly from Japanese, Bulma is the Bulma we know and love, and whenever it's the Americanized version of Bulma, she sucks.
She's just awful.
Because that's actually a really good scene. I like that.
Awful. Yeah, I did too. And so it made me want to go back and watch, like, not enough that I did it,
right?
But enough that I would totally go back. And if there were more Bulma cutaway scenes, I would just turn on the subtitles from now on. But we'll get to why there aren't in a bit.
Oh, yeah. In that same scene, Bulma becomes the Frog Queen.
That was almost the title for this episode. Before I started doing the rounds thing, I was That's
pretty good, though.
Bulma, Queen of Frogs.
Yeah, she finds a bunch of Namekian frogs, or they find her rather, and then one jumps on her head, and she freaks out about it, and then it ends, and we don't see her for the rest of the episode.
Yup.
Anyway, we come back to the battle between Frieza and Goku, and their battle causes a volcanic explosion in part of the planet. Right. Magma starts shooting up.
Yeah, they're fighting so hard.
Goku, I'm pretty sure it's Goku, says, "Wow, towering walls of molten lava. This isn't good."
Yeah.
Yep. That is accurate, Goku. Thank you. Because he doesn't listen to his best friend Krillin, Goku gets hit with Frieza's tail and gets thrown into the lava. And Goku miraculously somehow is still alive, clinging to the cliff edge, holding on to a rock so he doesn't fall into the lava. With just his fingertips, because he forgot that he could fly.
Can fucking fly. God. But the tension of lava, though.
Yeah, but he can fly, though, so make it better. Right? Better.
Yeah, I mean, Goku can move at the speed of goddamn light, but, you know.
He might fall in lava.
So this could be the end for our hero Goku.
And then several weird things happen all at once. Goku, surprise, surprise, makes it out of the lava crevice, and he blasts up from it and yells, "My butt's on fire." Immediately after, Piccolo yells, "Yes!"
Yeah, Piccolo's just there now. For no reason, seemingly no reason. Piccolo was miles away with the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Piccolo's part of the kids at this point. Piccolo's been downgraded to part of the kids. But now he's here. Now he's just there. No explanation. Just so he could say, yes.
To Goku's butt.
To Goku's ass burning.
Goku uses an energy blast to hold back a volcanic eruption somehow.
Yes.
He stops the lava from exploding by blasting it with energy.
Mm-hmm. He has a beam struggle with planet Namek.
Yep. And then I guess some water from the sea falls in and cools down the lava, so it kind of patches it.
That's
how it works in Minecraft.
That's true, actually.
So
yeah.
I'm glad we're operating by some kind of rules. And then Goku negotiates for the planet's safety by saying, "We're going to fight each other, but leave the planet out of this. It didn't do anything wrong." And Frieza agrees.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, is that Frieza's totally like, "Oh, all right." They have this weird sort of punch each other in the face kind of respect.
Yeah.
Over these couple of episodes, and that'll develop in episode 89 a little bit more. But it starts here, where Frieza agrees to, all right, I guess I won't blow up the planet then.
Remember that he made that promise. Episode 88, Clash of the Superpowers is the American title. Japanese title is The Two Superpowers Collide, a fist fight where both turn serious. 3 exclamation points.
Oh! My episode title is Round 2, Goku versus Geology, Part 2.
We start off back on Earth, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure it's been like a season since we've seen these people.
Mm-hmm.
Chi-Chi's packing up her shit.
She's packing a bag full of military-grade weapons is what she's doing.
She wants to go to Namek on Dr. Brief's spaceship. And they argue, let's see, it's Chi-Chi versus Master Roshi, Oolong Puar, and the Ox King. And so they fight for a little while, and they all end up on the ground, and Dr. Briefs comes in and reestablishes himself as my favorite character.
Yeah, this is a great Dr. Brief scene. Take it away.
This whole episode is amazing for Dr. Brief. So Ox King finally calms down his daughter by saying, "Hey, the ship's broken. You couldn't leave anyway." And Chi-Chi kind of sits there defeated. Dr. Briefs comes in. He's like, sees everybody on the floor, and he's like, "Please, you don't have to bow down before me." And he announces that he has fixed the spaceship. We'll get back to them in a second.
Roshi actually says, "You geniuses are all alike.
Wait, is that the line? I thought there was two halves of that line.
I don't remember what the second half of that line is. You're right. I don't remember why he's saying that geniuses are all alike.
But it's cool that he knows enough to make that comparison, I suppose.
Yeah, Roshi hangs out with the Mensa crowd all the time. It's what he does when he's not oogling babes.
I mean, that is a pretty sweet life when you break it down like that. I'd be on board.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite as sexually harassing as Roshi does it, but
no.
There's nothing wrong with playing the field, but just, be respectful, Roshi. He's never going to change.
Find out now in Dragon Ball Super. Funimation.com. Actually, don't pay for Funimation service. I rewatched Dragon Ball Super, and their app, the Funimation app, hot fucking trash. Hot garbage trash. It stalls, it lags, it closes on its own. It won't let you continue the same episode that you're on sometimes.
Ooh.
It won't let you pull up the app at all other times. It's don't pay for Funimation's thing. They have a free trial thing. Try the free trial or whatever, and then cancel it immediately. All right, I'm done.
All right. This episode not sponsored by the Funimation app.
Nope.
We cut back to Namek, and Frieza rises from the ground into the air in a really, really cool, detailed shot. It looks awesome.
And then they have like a mind fight. They push each other with their minds. Frieza blows up rocks with his brain. Okay, it's established in this episode that Frieza has psychic abilities. Like, what is it when you're able to telekinetic?
Yeah.
They have telekinesis where they can move things with their mind just by thinking about it.
Right.
But then Goku does the same fucking thing. Like, immediately afterward, Goku dodges Frieza's mind blast and then counters with the mind blast. The same exact kind of mind blast that dug Vegeta's grave. And I'm trying to write an essay on energy, and I have no fucking idea where to enter this in. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is. They don't explain it because it's Dragon Ball Z, so I do stupid.
There's one weird thing that I wanted to talk about. During the fight, Frieza forces Goku underwater, and then Goku's like, oh yeah, Frieza can't sense me when he can't see me. Mm-hmm. So he comes up with this ingenious plan, and he stays underwater. And he does Kamehameha for the first time in a really long time, but he does it freaking weird. He does Kamehameha, and he says the word, but he says it in his head, which is interesting. But then the energy comes out both of his hands. It like two small balls at one from each hand instead of putting the hands together in one blast. The energy blasts also freeze in place, and he's able to like control them, and he backs away and then shoots them up through the sea to surprise attack Frieza. And I didn't when you're trying to make sense of this universe, it doesn't make any sense.
No, okay. So we've seen this move before, though. It was called the Spirit Bomb. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right.
When Yamcha used it,
right?
Which is the Spirit Ball. It should be called, or something else. But he says Kamehameha, and we know what that is.
And this isn't that.
This isn't that. So that's like throwing a punch and saying solar flare.
Yeah. It's really weird.
I think Goku got hit in the face a lot, and now he's just confused. I think that's what's happening.
Frieza says the line, "You're the first one that's hurt me besides my loving parents," that is, which is very weird.
Ooh, I kind of was like, is that why you're fucked up?
Yeah, I know, right? The only people that's hurt him is his parents. Also, he says parents plural, which is very interesting. Goku says, "Man, is he ticked? I wouldn't want to be me right now, but I don't have a choice."
That's not even true because he met Captain Ginyu like an hour
that's
ago.
true. He could just body swap. Let's see. Goku dodges those rocks that I think we were talking about earlier, but he says,
"Oh my god." He says hammer time.
He does say hammer time.
He says hammer time when he's punching them. He doesn't have hammers. He has fists. And he says hammer time.
Is he referencing the song? Does that mean
he's referencing the MC Hammer single?
So MC Hammer exists in the universe of Dragon Ball Z.
That is the only thing that we are led to believe. That's the only conclusion that we can come to is MC Hammer exists in this universe.
There's no other explanation because why would he have said hammer time in any other context unless he's quoting the song? Anyway,
the 90s Strike 2.
Yeah, seriously. That's a huge one. Frieza gets mad and throws an even bigger rock at Goku. It's
a mountain.
It's a mountain.
Huge.
And Goku just catches it. Like, he doesn't get out of the way. He just catches it.
No, yeah, instead of dodging, because he could I've seen him do that.
Just get out of the way. Turn invisible.
Yeah, step to the left. Whatever.
Yeah.
He chooses to try and catch the mountain.
No, he does it. with ease.
But then it smashed. The force of the mountain pushes him back and wedges him into another rock.
Yeah, but then he just slices the first big rock in half and flies right through it and appears on the other side just fine.
Which begs the question, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It was weird. It was really weird. It's a weird sequence for so many reasons. Does flinging rocks hurt more than energy? Is that why Frieza decided to do it?
I don't know. I thought the exact same question in my head. Like, how much damage does an energy blast do? Like a generic ass ki blast.
But the ki blast like incinerate rocks. So
yeah, I don't know.
Is he just showing off? But would big rock make it worse? Is a big rock heavier than a giant ki blast that you have to also deflect before it pushes you into a rock like Frieza did?
Is it a question of density? Or is it a question of velocity?
Or force? Or
gravity?
Electricity?
What is it?
I don't know.
Radiation? What is it? I don't know.
This is the episode where we break.
Are they particles? Is it a wave or a particle?
It's light.
But so it's a wave.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I don't know. Nobody knows.
I'm never going to finish my dissertation.
This is the episode scholars will look at years from now to disprove whatever you submit to the Academy.
Bring it on.
Frieza appears out of nowhere and he says, "Here I am." And Goku's like, "No way." Like he forgot that he was fighting Frieza.
This is the part where Frieza traps him into a barrier of energy.
Yes.
That I was totally cool with. I thought
that was actually really unique and cool. I liked it a lot. Frieza somehow suspends Goku in a ball of energy and then launches him into the stratosphere and then kicks him a bunch. So he basically just plays like soccer with himself and Goku is the ball.
Frieza says, "You're lucky I'm so fast. Because if this ball touched anything other than me, kaboom."
Yep.
And they say that.
And then basically that's what happens and everything blows up.
That was me throwing something across my room in anger. Look, I want to see a Goku versus Frieza fight. I do. But for some reason, this is not what I pictured at all.
I really do wonder, and I'll probably ask this question again in the next episode. Like, when you were watching if you watched this when it first aired, would you think that this was close to a culmination, or can you kind of tell that they're dragging it out? Because we know with future knowledge that this is going to go on for 20 more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes every fight between Goku and Frieza pointless because we know that it has to end somewhere far away from now. And there's probably not going to be very many surprises along the way because you've basically killed every other character at this point. So
after this pinball thing that Frieza does to Goku, he eventually slams Goku into the ground because of course they do that.
Yeah, and then everything blows up.
Everything blows up and the gang, the Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo gang are standing out way far away watching this massive ass explosion. Biggest explosion we've seen so far, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke clears, Goku's still alive, and then they say, "All right, let's get serious."
Dude, and Piccolo's like, they've been holding back, or Frieza's been holding back the whole time, but so has Goku. And then he says, they're monsters, one good and one evil.
Yeah.
Which is, Goku's just a good monster.
Like Godzilla.
He's like Godzilla. Goku is Godzilla.
Goku is Godzilla. And Frieza also decides to speak something in their native language to Goku.
Yes.
Which is 100% an English dub thing. That did not exist in Japanese. Yeah.
Well, Frieza in his native tongue says, "Will you start fighting me for real?" That's right. We're both going to use our actual strength now. And Goku's like, "Okay, sounds good to me." And you think Frieza's being serious because he pulls the native tongue card, and then the episode ends. So,
yep.
Episode 89, American title is Frieza's Boast. Japanese title is Frieza's Terrible Declaration. I will defeat you without using my hands. And I really love that the title of this episode contradicts the ending of the last one, because using my hands is A, a gimmick, and B, not using your full power.
Yeah, so, how many times has that happened, though, really?
Oh, every time possible.
Yeah, but this one's a little more in our face.
Yeah.
Though.
What's your title for this one?
Round 3. Goku versus the prehensile fifth limb.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. It was like,
tail.
ew. But then I mean, it's still ew.
Yeah, it's why
Yeah, it's
you know me.
Goku's
I like to
versus
leave it up in the
Frieza's
air.
tail. But I appreciate the enhanced vocabulary. It does add to the experience.
This is where we really solidify the weird strength respect developing, because they're both Goku and Frieza are floating there, agreeing to use their full strength, and they together choose a place which will be their battlefield. And Frieza's like, flying or on the ground? And Goku's like, I don't give a shit.
Goku says, ground's good. Sure, why not? Ground's good. I'm a ground kind of guy, if that's okay with you, of course.
Oh my God.
It's one of the worst lines that he says in these episodes.
That's why I forgot what he says. Is because when he was saying it, I was having a little mini stroke.
Yeah,
and
it's
so I
pretty bad.
literally can't remember. Frieza it gives him the, hey, I'm going to fight you without my hands. Even though Frieza just said, let's fight to our fullest.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Also, Goku takes off his shirt.
Yeah,
Just
he does.
his weighted one.
He's still got the undershirt, yeah.
Yeah, Frieza doesn't want to use his hands. He's like, oh, this will be great because then I won't break a nail. And so so Frieza's going to fight Goku without his hands. They clash, and maybe the coolest transition that we've seen since that car one back in the Saiyan saga.
That's right.
Happens here, because you think that they're fighting and all this smoke comes up and the smoke clears and you see Dr. Briefs is working on a spaceship. Like, it cuts back to Earth in this transition, and it's so smooth that it actually caught me off guard for a second. It's really cool.
And the music for this section, great job, Falconer Productions.
The Dr. Briefs part or the Frieza part?
Dr. Briefs, yeah. Dr. Briefs has his own track. Dr. Briefs has the scientist track,
Okay.
which, you know, the typical scientist.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. And then you see Dr. Briefs working his ass off on this new spaceship.
He's so happy. He seems very fulfilled
Yeah.
and satisfied with his work, and he's about to have his day completely ruined.
By Chi-Chi. Cut to Chi-Chi. And the music changes.
It does.
Every time it cuts to Chi-Chi to like Jaws.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Jaws with guitars. Chi-Chi's the big boss coming to ruin Dr. Brief's day. And it cuts back to Dr. Briefs. Do. Just fixing my machine. I enjoy my life. I'm a doctor. I have 2 podcasts. I'm Dr. Briefs. And cut back to Chi-Chi. And eventually, she just fucking tackles him.
Yep.
Isn't that what happens?
Yeah.
Or does she fall or something?
Oh, yeah, she trips over a cable or something like that. But then she does yell at Dr. Briefs.
That's right. Because of course she does.
Yeah.
What else does Chi-Chi do other than yell at the other adult characters and then baby go on?
I want to go to Namek. I want to save my son. I got to get there. You've got to work better.
But I'll be honest, this scene, this cutaway to the Earth squad, I love it.
Oh, it's great. Every time,
it.
like, I hate to put all my eggs in the Dr. Briefs basket, but like every time he's talking and saying a line, it feels really good. He's just really entertaining as an actor, and he's a really good foil for Chi-Chi, where all the other characters are just scared shitless of her.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Briefs actually like just tells it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really cool to see them go up against each other. So it makes it a little better for sure.
And it's not Bulma.
And it's not Bulma.
And it's not English Namek Bulma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Chi-Chi gets pissed, and Dr. Briefs is like, dear lady, it takes time to recharge a reactor, you know?
Do you see the E and the F? E is for empty.
Yeah, he gets so layman with her that he's just like, see this screen? It needs to fill up before we can leave.
And she actually listens to him, too. That's the other thing. Nobody else, can get through to Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
Dr. Briefs can.
Yeah.
With just, this is an E with 2 letters. This is an F.
It has to go up here, and then we can leave.
It completely deflates her.
Yeah, so Chi-Chi, Roshi, Puar, and Oolong are planning to go to Namek.
Oh, don't forget about Yamcha.
You mean Yajirobe? He hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, shit. I did mean Yajirobe. I forgot about Yajirobe. Even I forgot about him.
And everybody seems to be really intent on going. It's weird to me that they're spending this much time on the setup, because I felt as I was watching it like they would never get there.
I wasn't sure because I didn't remember.
Yeah, no, I had no memory of this whatsoever at all. So then it cuts back to Namek. Frieza and Goku continue fighting. Goku gets tail slapped a lot. Frieza continues to kick his ass.
Frieza is kicking the shit out of Goku because they're not using their hands. So they're literally kicking the shit out of Goku.
Right.
They're using their tail Is this when Goku swings Frieza around by the tail?
So they get in close quarters combat, and Frieza using his tail, and Goku says, when's the last time you had a bath?
That's it, yes.
He insults Frieza, and then he Mario 64s him.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs his tail and spins him around and just lets go.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this part. Like, I know it's gimmicky and stupid because we know it's not going to like lead to anything, but I really like the animations in this episode because Frieza does have his arms folded the whole time, and it's really kind of cool to see how he moves like that.
Solid animation and artistry on these episodes overall. I can't like there were. I think I mentioned maybe an episode of our podcast ago how the animation was not amazing.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's getting
this
better.
time around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So windmills him, and Frieza teleports and still hits him.
Yeah.
Still not using their hands, though.
Still not using their hands. It cuts to Bulma in maybe the worst cutaway of all time for her, this entire Namek saga, because she's on a bike. Like we just saw her wasting away in like the middle of nowhere, but she had a vehicle this whole time. She had a vehicle. Like this whole time she could have been moving a lot faster than she's moving without using any energy on her part. And she's just cruising along now with a vehicle. So she makes a frog friend, one of the same frog that jumped on her head. And as soon as I saw the frog, I was like, man, I hope it's Ginyu. And then 2 seconds later, it's freaking Ginyu.
Yes, and she's taken it upon herself to do some actual Bulma shit for the first time in a while, and creates a translator for the frog so she can have somebody to fucking talk to.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'll be like the Jane Goodall of frogs. So Jane Goodall exists in this world too.
Oh my god,
which is very funny to me. And I just can't believe that we've had 17 episodes or so of weird Bulma shit, and now she's a scientist again.
And this is the first thing she does.
And this is the first thing she does, and it's the biggest mistake ever.
Because this frog is actually Ginyu, and the first and only thing that the frog says in English is change now, and takes over Bulma's body. Yeah. John, forgot this was a thing.
I had no idea this was coming. My note for this is what?
Yeah, it blew my fucking mind. Yeah,
I
was like, this was what?
Bulma's so pointless. How is she getting relevance now?
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, so Bulma is Ginyu and Ginyu is Bulma, and it's weird, but it does happen.
I'm just happy that Bulma's not Bulma now.
Yeah, there's like well, 2 things, right? She's in a frog's body, so that's nice for now. While she's just for a bit, and it gives her like a concrete story.
Yep.
Like there's no more random mini adventures that have nothing to do with anything. Now, like one of the main antagonists of the show for the past couple of seasons is in the picture with her. So there's gonna be some relevancy.
Yes.
Cross your fingers. So Frieza starts to strangle Goku with his tail, and Goku bites the tail.
That's right. Yep.
And then Goku beats him up. And this part of the episode felt really good because Goku just like counters everything that Frieza throws at him and throws his own punches enough that Frieza gets pissed and starts using his hands to fight. And I know that this whole episode has been a gimmick, but damn, it felt good when they introduced it at the beginning of the episode. I'm only going to use my hands. The payoff of him getting so mad that he breaks his own promise felt really good. Finally, some kind of weakness shown in Frieza. It was really nice.
I was not expecting them to actually follow through with it at this point. The Goku Frieza fight has beaten me so far with these 4 episodes into this sense of they are just going to fool around and not actually follow any sort of development whatsoever.
You would expect Goku to get beat, and then Frieza's like, okay, I'm bored of this thing. I'm going to use my hands now.
Yeah.
Like not make any headway and just be a punching bag for a while more.
But it didn't do that.
It was nice.
And it made me happy. Thank you, Dragon Ball Z. For those little moments where you keep your promises.
Yeah, it does. It shines every once in a while. It really does. Episode 90, the American title is Bold and Fearless. The Japanese title is That Was No Idle Boast, Son Goku, an audacious, wonderful guy.
Holy shit.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Is this Mad Libs? Like, what the fuck? All right, my title. I normally don't come up with a title for the 5th one, but because I'm doing this round thing, I came up with the title for this one, which is round 4, Goku versus percentages.
Oh my god, yeah. It's such an arbitrary... never mind.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
This episode opens with Frieza trying to get Goku to join him.
Oh my god, the join me shit.
Yeah, we all know it's never going to happen. If it didn't happen with Vegeta, it's not going to happen.
It didn't happen with Zarbon. Didn't happen with the Doria. Didn't happen with Frieza. Didn't happen with Qui. It didn't happen with Nail. It didn't happen with whoever the fuck else asked. It didn't happen with Timmy from down the street delivering milk.
Yep.
It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
After Goku refuses, Frieza starts dropping math, saying that they've only been using 1% of their power.
Remember two episodes ago when they promised each other they wouldn't hold back?
Uh-huh. I do.
They don't.
No, they don't. They really don't at all. And Frieza assesses Goku's power and says, listen, I know that you've also been holding back, but your maximum is probably 5 to 10 times what you've been showing me.
I hate this part so much.
Whereas I've been using 1%. I don't think Frieza knows what 1%
I don't
really
think
means.
so either. Like I don't understand where he comes to this mess. So he's like, okay, I'm going to use 50% of my max power, but that's all you get because that'll cover anything you're capable of. So 50% of Frieza's max power is enough to match Goku's 5 to 10 times more than what he's currently been using. That is equal to Frieza's 1%. That doesn't make any sense.
But Frieza said so, though. So
he sounds smart and used numbers and math, so we believe him. This show's for stupid kids, and it also has strangling and blood and
murder,
waxing
and sexual
about
assault.
Death and, yep.
Yeah. Yes. The show's for children. Kidnapping, child endangerment, illegal use of a firearm. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Many times. Public intoxication.
Thank you. I was trying to say something stupid, but nothing came to my mind.
I was going to say public urination, which is actually that happens
accurate.
too.
Yeah, it does.
Son of a
couple
bitch.
Times. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody throw the book at this show.
You're going to jail.
You're going to jail.
I would love if this saga ended with a Monty Python style, the police just come out and arrest everybody. Frickin' the Galaxy Patrol come by and they're just like, hey, knock it off.
You're under arrest. We saw you pissing off that cliff on King Kai's planet.
Wait, there are no cliffs on King Kai's planet.
You're under arrest for contradicting our arrest warrant.
Resisting arrest.
That's right. Yeah. Stop resisting. After the math drop, we get to get you in Bulma's body enjoying the bike ride on the hover bike, which didn't exist until a minute ago.
Yep. Oh, I forgot to mention there's food on it too, which Bulma does eat. And she was starving episode. I don't understand. Anyway, go ahead.
Fuck it. So Bulma the frog is now holding onto the bike. There's like a tiny little spoiler on the bike. She's holding onto that for dear life. Just screaming. Ginyu notices that Bulma the frog is still holding on, and Ginyu in a Ginyu voice is like, because hearing Ginyu's voice come out of Bulma's body is hilarious.
So weird, but very
It's
funny.
so goddamn funny to me. And Ginyu starts doing flips and shit on the bike. Like, they just know how to use it, which I'm totally fine with. They start spinning and doing really nice, cool tricks.
Yeah.
And it tosses Bulma the frog.
Yeah. And then Bulma's like, screw this, and jumps on her body's eyes. Jumps on Ginyu's eyes.
That's right. Bulma the frog jumps on Ginyu in Bulma's face.
Yes.
Ginyu and Bulma can't see now and is driving this flying speed bike. And somehow...
I knew you were going to say this.
Somehow, by magical Star Wars-esque coincidence, flies right into the kids, right into the gang, right into Gohan and Krillin and Piccolo.
Yeah. It's weird because I honestly can't remember the last episode where these characters were together. And it's just weird seeing them be in the same place.
It's nice because now we don't have to keep cutting away to just Bulma.
With more characters in one place, it means less cutaways to random shit that doesn't matter.
Yes, that's about it, though. Except, actually, you know, take that back. That's not even about it, because now Bulma is Ginyu, and Ginyu has to try and convince everybody that they're actually Bulma. So Ginyu talks like this normally, right? Now he's going to talk like this. Hi, guys, I'm Bulma. And he talks like that.
Perfect.
And it
works. It tricks everybody.
Everybody is convinced this is Bulma now, even when Bulma starts watching the fight and really enjoying it.
Yeah. Gohan sees Bulma the frog, and like I'm like, oh, okay, classic sitcom. He's gonna see the frog and be like, go away, frog, you don't belong here. But he puts the pieces together. Sort of. Halfway. He deduces that the frog he's talking to is Ginyu, and he's like, Ginyu, you shouldn't be here, bud. You got to get out of here. Despite the fact that literally inches from him, Bulma is shouting that Goku needs to die in a masculine voice.
Yep.
So it's a fun little thing that happens.
It's the only cutaway other than the Dr. Briefs one that I've enjoyed for the last 15 episodes.
It's all right. I can see it from Piccolo's perspective for sure, because he really doesn't know Bulma that well.
Right, yeah.
I have a harder time accepting that Gohan and Krillin are that dumb, but the
show needs him to be that dumb.
Yeah, and it's harmless. And part of me in the back of my head is just thinking, oh man, I want Bulma to fight. Like I want Bulma and Ginyu to fight with the strategic knowledge of Ginyu against these guys. I think that would be really cool. So it cuts to Frieza and Goku for a sec, and Frieza hits Goku with 50% power, and it hurts him
a lot.
Go figure.
Bloodies his nose.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Frieza's speed's so unbelievable that Goku cannot even react, and the animation is really, really well done. It feels like a notch has been kicked up.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool. For all the bullshit we gave Math, it's pretty cool to see. I don't know. It's fun to see powerful villains like actually using their strength.
The Math thing, whatever. They could have just said, "Now I'm actually going to try now."
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like the whatever third grader that you would beat in GoldenEye, and then they'd be like, "Well, I'm going to try for real now."
It is exactly like that. Except in this scenario, then he would beat you, and you'd be like, "Oh shit!"
Right? That never happened.
Yeah, it never ever happened.
What if?
So it cuts back to Dr. Briefs in maybe my favorite cutaway to him of all time. It's adorable. He's just an adorable man. He's got all of these tiny little pets gathered around. He's got basically a box full of puppies, but it's full of baby dinosaurs and kittens and all kinds of things. And he's got food set out for all of them in front of this spaceship that he's built. And he's so excited that he's like, I'm glad you all could make it to launch day.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not talking to the astronauts that are going to go. He's just talking to his little pets. And it's just beautiful. And this is the first moment that I realized that Puar, Oolong, Roshi, and Chi-Chi and Yajirobe are going to Namek. I can't remember when Yajirobe entered because I didn't make a note because I was so upset. But I think he may have been in the story when you said, "Oh, and Yajirobe." I just didn't. I just hate that he's.
Yeah, he has a line, so it's not even worth mentioning.
Yeah, but they get in the ship just like Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan before them. This spaceship has a big old 3 painted on the side of it though, and they're like gearing up to launch, like. Really for real, they're gonna leave.
Yeah,
and it's really weird. Like they had me going for a long time because this is an extended sequence, but the ship breaks. It tips over, and and they don't get a leave. So that's the end of that story.
Yep. So they're not going to Namek. Cut back to 45 seconds of a fight where Goku is just getting ass blasted.
The amount of time that I've written the note, Frieza and Goku fight some more, is astounding.
And we have, 13, 17 episodes to go. So we cut to King Kai's planet.
Yep.
After the wreckage that's happening. And we learn something. Because this whole time I've been thinking, why is Goku not using Kaioken at all? And King Kai tells the rest of the people on the planet, Tien and Yamcha and Chaozu, that's his name. Actually, Goku's been using Kaioken the entire time.
Yeah, and it shows little flashbacks to like stuff that happened 10 seconds ago. Except this time, he gets the little Kaioken red aura every couple seconds when he lands an attack or defends or whatever.
Why the fuck haven't they been showing us
just
that?
Put it in.
Just show us
You know that's where you're going. It's in the episode. Like, just put it in. Let us figure it out for ourselves and then mock King Kai for recapping it.
Yeah.
Instead they just have to like retcon something that happened in the episode that they're making. It's wild.
That bothered me quite a bit. That was a full $50 bother. Wait, a full $50? Yeah, fine.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Anyway,
I don't know. I'm bothered enough that I'm not thinking straight.
But yeah, so apparently he's been using his most powerful move this whole time, and it doesn't work. It cuts back to Bulma and the gang, and actually, this isn't as prolonged as I thought it was. I thought it went on for an episode or two, but they figure it out. They figure out Ginyu and Bulma's body is just like, yeah, Frieza killed the bastard. Get him. Yeah. And they're like, wait a second. That's not Bulma.
Yeah, wait. Bulma wouldn't say that over and over for the last 5 minutes.
And so Ginyu in Bulma's body just gives up the ghost. He's like, all right, fine, I'm Ginyu, rah. And then he does his weird pose thing and gets ready to fight him. And I got really excited. I was like, yeah.
Same.
Finally. I've been waiting to see this for forever.
I want to see Bulma become a fighter. I've always hoped that we'd see a fighter version of Bulma.
It would have been awesome.
Is happening.
It would have been really cool. It pisses me off, especially because in later seasons, they have an arc that you could have just threw Bulma in there like way earlier in the show, and it would have worked just fine. Anyway.
Yeah, it's more of missed opportunity.
It's a total missed opportunity. It would have been cool to explore Goku and Bulma's friendship like on the level of them being fighters now instead of just venturing around. It would have been really interesting.
Yeah, I really love their kind of platonic relationship.
Yeah, it doesn't get enough time to shine really in this show.
Yeah,
but the moments they have are really cool.
There really definitely is not enough of those, at least not yet. Maybe there will be more. Most of the time, it just seems to be Bulma being annoyed at Goku's childness, childlike behavior.
Yeah. I hope there's more. There's a surprising amount of this show that I just did not remember. A few really good examples in this batch of episodes, like the Bulma body swap and the going to Namek spaceship fake out.
Mm-hmm.
Did not remember that was even a thing. So there could be more good surprises in store.
I hope so.
Yeah.
This kind of feels like wading through a pool full of pudding to find that kernel of popcorn.
Yep, I knew you were going to bring it back around. You want to have the summer blockbuster. You want to have the popcorn munch and really entertaining time. Pudding just takes work to eat.
How does it make you feel to know that we are only roughly a third of the way through this?
It makes me feel good because I think this is the worst third of the show.
I hope so. I feel like it is too, but I don't know. We'll have to see how things get.
I think some stuff in future seasons might get to this point where it sort of drags out and the fights last too long, but I know that coming up, they go through like 4 or 5 sagas in the span of like 2 seasons. So I'm hoping that it's more that the pacing is better, because that's the only problem that I really have with the show. Is it's just you just need to cut it down. Like there's a reason they made Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I do have little nitpicks here and there. I totally do.
I mean, you can feel the show slipping into second gear around this point. You know, it's still low.
Yeah. But... Yes. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how things go moving forward.
Maybe Bulma's body's going to fight everybody that she loves.
Ooh.
And maybe Goku's going to die at the hands of Frieza. But we'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Eric hates it.
Thank you for listening to Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. Oh, shit. What else do we say? How do I never remember
We don't really have a consistent, like,
every time.
In Tales, I wrote down the outro, and I just recorded it. And then after a few times of reading it over and over, I just memorized it. But we don't have like a system. We just kind of throw stuff at the wall, which I think works for this format a lot better.
Yeah.
You want to talk? You got some feedback for us? Feel free to email us at mail, at ehdbz.com. That is mail at ehdbz.com. We love to hear from you.
Or follow us on Twitter under the handle
at
Eric Hates DBZ.
Yes, at Eric Hates
DBZ.
Our friend Sharam emailed us again to say that he made a mistake, and you actually pronounced his name correctly, not me. So Sharam was incorrect.
Holy shit! Was it Shaharam?
He said that was closer.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So we love getting feedback from our fans. So thank you for sending that. Feel free to send us more stuff. Love to talk about it.
Or you don't have to. Thank you for even just spending the time
spend some time with us talking Dragon Ball Z. We don't care. You can get on with your life and just have us be a little bit of it every week.
Yeah.
Totally
Sorry
fine.
You're at work.
Yeah, it sucks to be at work.
Or bored. Or whatever it is that you're doing.
You know what's cooler than work? Dragon Ball Z.
For more entertainment from our team, be sure to check out the Tales of Nowhere podcast. We just finished up season 1, and we are working our way towards season 2, premiering January 6th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Haha, January 6th, 2021. It's a tabletop RPG podcast where we take one cast of characters from multiple games and rule sets and tell one epic story. You can check that out at talesofnowhere.com or wherever the fuck you listen to podcasts. We're probably on there. Then the music for this podcast is me. I make it. If you listen, I don't know if you noticed, but a couple episodes ago when we did the Eric recap thing, when we have the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music, you can hear there's a kazoo in the background.
Yes.
That's the level of professional quality that you can expect.
I mean, like,
from me.
No offense, but on the level of Dragon Ball Z podcasts, I think we're like towards the top, you know, like well, for sure, at least rising there. So
some production quality wise.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Content wise, we're at the bottom, considerably low. But we'll add kazoos in. Who else does that?
Done.
So once again, thanks for listening. We really appreciate that you choose this podcast instead of krilling yourself at work.
We have used that before.
Yeah, I know.
You're probably sick of us saying thank you for listening, but I want to thank you.
Oh my God. What is that? I know it was a pun, but I don't even know what you were referencing. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. It was supposed to be gin you.
Oh,
thank
you. It's not as bad as I thought.
That's what I'm talking about.
I think we might have used that one before.
Shit. We'll keep it Dr. Briefs.
Oh, there you go. You got it. You got there.